Hi folks, how you doing? Riflechair here. Today we're going to do a comparative review of 3 different rifles, military rifles, all in 8x57 Mauser. We're going to be looking at the model 1904-39. We got a rainstorm coming in, so we'll do this quick. Which is the Vaguero from Portugal. We'll be looking at the VZ24. Also, and this one here is essentially a G24T. And we'll also be looking at the Yugoslavian M48. We're going to run some Yugoslavian, I should say, Pervy 198 grain full metal jacket boat tails through this, just factory ammunition, just to see, okay, what kind of general group size can I get, kind of evaluate the sights, compare the sights, and the general operation of the rifle, and we'll do a summary at the end of this. So I hope you enjoy the video, and stay tuned for more. So, Serbian ammunition for a Serbian rifle. Put 5 rounds down. These are the first shots. These are the first shots out of this rifle. Their sight is set at 200. Yeah, some of these Yugos are a little bit stiff when it comes to applying the safety. Oh, there was a fair amount of flame coming out of that. Packs a wallop, that's for sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll bet you that was the first shot. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Because those were not there when I started shooting at this target. And put some tape on that. So I'm going to keep these the way they are. Take a picture of it for my records. Going to move the front sight over to the right. And yeah, this is shooting a bit low. You know, it's at the 200 meter mark here on this M48. Make sure I put that here. M48. Okay, let's try the VZ24 next. VZ24. First shots. This rifle's just out of Cosmoline. Brand new barrel. Okay, let's see what the Vaguero can do. Okay, Portuguese Vaguero. Just the refinement of this rifle is just number of machining steps, just the simplicity. This is more complicated than Model 98, but it's just much smoother. But it is a diminutized rifle in comparison. There we go. And the sights are way better too. What are we at here? We're at 2. Okay. This VZ starts at 3. And 48, and the Vaguero start at 200. go see what that did. Well, here's the Viguero. Right down here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So essentially, really, I mean, you call that a fouling shot on the M48. Each of these is a fouling shot. I mean, that's really no different, really, in group size from rifle to rifle to rifle. So I would say that none of these rifles are inherently more accurate than the other. You're going to get about the same. I mean, essentially, even though the rear sight was set at 2, this one was set at 3, this one's set at 2. You know, they're totally different rifles, aren't they? One's an intermediate model centered large ring. Sorry, start again. One's an intermediate length action, large ring model 98 Mauser. Standard length model 98 Mauser large ring. And I'm not quite sure where this is. I suspect, just because the diameter receiver here is so much smaller than a large ring 98, it would probably be more comparable to a small ring 98 for strength. So there we go. Surprised this is so low though. Well, that was fun. It's always fun to take the bank sticks out to the range and make some smoke, and in this case fire, because there was quite a fireball coming in at the end of these rifles. So we'll start off with the M48 Mauser. Now, what do you think? Based on what you saw, what do you think? Now, if you're going to be spending a lot of money or a little bit of money, if performance was key to you, which one would you choose? Well, let me go over some numbers here. I've written down. I've taken some measurements here with the calipers, just to see what the once fired brass dimensions look like, so I can give you a bit of an idea as what the chamber characteristics are for each of these rifles. Starting with the M48, we will see that the length of the fired case is 2.231 inches plus or minus basically 2 thou. The VZ24 is 2.229 plus or minus 2 thou, and the 1904-39 is 2.238 plus or minus 1 thou. So the Viguero has a little bit of a longer chamber, but we'll also find out after going through the fired cases and measuring them, it has a narrower shoulder and a narrower head case. Like you're unlikely to get a head case separation from this rifle. I'm just saying the head space may be a little bit long. That's all I'm saying. But it's still within spec. The VZ24 kind of arrived in the middle of the pack with the second tightest chamber, and absolutely beautiful extraction and no feeding issues whatsoever. None of these rifles had any feeding issues whatsoever. Now, the largest chamber of the bunch is right here, the M48. And the M48 had around the head case area measured around 0.40 inches and 0.435 inches at the shoulder. So just slightly larger chamber out of all three. And I thought that was interesting. The VZ24 was only just marginally tighter, but definitely the tightest, but the longest of the three was the Portuguese Viguero. Now, a couple of other interesting observations for me had to do with the rear sights. Now, the M48 and the VZ24, let's change things up here just to change the visuals a little bit, have exactly the same sight picture, with the exception of the M48 has the hooded front sight protector, and this one has the basically the wasted front sight protector, which I actually prefer. Has exactly the same sight picture. I mean, they both have the wood, going all the way along the top of the handguard. Essentially, the Yugoslavians essentially kind of copied, I would say, the VZ24 general overall design, and the way that the wood is on this rifle. Now remember, this is a laminated wood stock from the German occupation of the Brno factory, and so you'll see it's kind of got the Germanized bolt tear down, the insert. We've got the dovetail cut for the sling, like you see here on the M48. But it also has the lower slings front and back for a conventional sling if so desired. But the rear sights on these are interesting in that the VZ24 sights start at 300 meters, and the V's and the M48 sights start at 200 meters. But essentially, there wasn't a heck of a lot of difference in point of impact between the two rifles. I will say though that the 1904-39 Figueroa has incredible sights in comparison to these two rather conventional large ring Mausers. It has instead of the inverted V rear sight notch, it has a kind of a U shape, which allows you, and basically it does not have the pyramid or triangular front post. It has a straight block front sight. What that allows you to do is it gets space in between your front sight. You get some light in between either side of the front blade inside the U notch of the rear blade. So it makes for a better sight picture. So that in and of itself is very, very cool. The sight's significantly better, but then again, it wouldn't take a heck of a lot of improvement to get a better sight from what the K98s and the VZ24s and the M48s provide. Okay, so moving right along, other features that I think you may be interested in are the general function of each rifle. The VZ24 is just silky smooth. It's still a military Mauser. You're still getting some bolt slop. The follower is not shaved, so you have to depress it in order for to work the bolt forward. The safety is easy to manipulate. Okay, and there are literally almost no milling marks on the inside or the outside of this rifle. It is absolutely fabulous. The quality of the craftsmanship for the VZ24 is absolutely phenomenal. I'll work in some pictures there to help you try to understand that. The VZ is great. The M48, when it comes to the quality of the milling inside and out, is nowhere near the kind of the contemporary quality of the day. This particular rifle was probably manufactured using rather worn milling tools. Again, typical kind of Mauser slop, but I have gone through a polishing process to make sure that the raceways on this rifle are smoother. There is a video out there if you want to see it that I've made as regards to this, and I did a video on the stock. It's not teak, okay? It's elm. So, and you can hear. You're not going to really. You could run this quietly if you had to, but it's rough. It is rough, and getting that flag safety to function is more difficult on the Yugoslavian. Okay, and last but not least, the Figueroa. You know what the answer to this is going to be. It's just, basically this is a hybrid between a Mauser and a Mannlicher Schonauer. It's got that feel to it. I mean, listen. It's quiet, it's smooth, and it is lightweight in comparison to both of these rifles. I don't have the exact measurements here for you, but I can tell you just comfort for single-handed carry, it's just incredible. And of course, the carry position on this rifle is right here, right over the front of the receiver. They have taken a moon dish cut out of the front of the receiver for clipped ammunition. What a beautiful rifle this is. The safety, however, is a little bit different. You'll notice that the entire cocking, this is all cocking piece. There's no bolt shroud. The bolt shroud is the cocking piece. I like that because that gives me something to hang on to that I can actually pull back. See, actually better to do that with the safety on, but can't. If you had to, you could recock it. Okay, but the safety, something you can't do with a Mauser, by the way. Nice little option here with the Figueroa. There is no, you'll see this in the video when I actually flip the safety on. There is no lifting the bolt on this with the safety applied. There is essentially on or off. Okay, there's no middle step. Okay. It's either on or off. So there is no middle position. right? It's all the way to the right, not the middle position, all the way to the right. Okay. Just in case you're not quite sure what I'm referring to, I'll do this with the M48. Okay, so if I wanted to pull the cocking piece back, I couldn't. I got nothing that I can actually grab onto. So you got to cock it again. Okay, and you'll see that this here is the cocking piece right here. This is just a bolt shroud with a safety wing on it. So they did things just a little bit differently. Just another thing here I think you'll be interested in, and we'll bring the camera around so you can see a little bit closer. Okay, we all know that the Mauser 98 is a control round feeding action. So we'll put in a dummy case here. Okay, piece of perfect brass and a 179 grain full metal jacket bullet, but there is no primer or propellant in this in this rifle, and you can see the milling marks along the raceways, and I have polished it. It is a lot smoother than it was, so I'm not fighting with the bolt on this rifle anymore. You'll see when we actually apply forward momentum on the bolt, the case will pop out of the internal box magazine, and the extractor will have control. See? I have control. The point where that actually occurs, you'll be able to see better from your angle than I can. I'll move the camera just a little bit here. Where the bolt actually gets control. Probably right there. I have control. It's not great control, but it is control. The Figueroa, does it have control round feeding? Let's find out. Same round, and let's watch. There is no big Mauser extractor on this, so is it controlled round feeding, yes or no? Yes, it is. I have control. Now you'll notice that if we're going to compare bolts, again we'll use the Yugoslavian, and the Figueroa has the same bolt release as your other conventional Mausers. Okay. Okay, both safeties are on the top. There we go. So there's the extractor groove. Figueroas. Motorbikes running through my house here. So that's where the extractor is. Kicks out the spent shell, but you see we don't really have the big claw extractor as you see here on the Mauser 98, but we still do have kind of a spring-loaded extractor here on the Figueroa. If I told you lately how wonderful this rifle is, smooth, smooth, smooth. There's the extractor right there. All numbers matching. Again, you just look at the quality of the milling here. The raceways are just beautiful. Just beautiful. And I've shown you the inside of the Yugoslavian, but I'll do the M40, the Visa 24 as well. You know, it is literally comparable to the Figueroa. Just the quality is just top notch. I mean, look at that. The Czechs really know how to make a rifle. They really, really do. In fact, my primary hunting rifle today is a CZ 550. Beautiful, beautiful rifles. That is essentially it in a nutshell. 3 8x57 Mausers, all beautiful rifles. I love each of them. But if I had to choose one, which one would it be? This is a comparative review. I don't want you to think this is being actually a rifle review, just a kind of a comparison of each of these rifles. Some of them have attributes that make them better than the others, but you know, I will go anywhere with any of these rifles, but I'm going to pick one, and it is the one that's sitting in front of you right now. The VZ24, the G24T, is an absolutely top-notch, incredible rifle. And even though it has the conventional Mauser sights, they don't bother me a lot. You can have a look at I did some reloading, and I did some reloading for this, specifically tailored for this rifle. I wanted to see what this rifle was going to be able to do. And I worked up a load using IMR 4064 and 179 grain full metal jacket bowtail, using Pervy brass and Chinese primers. And they're the primers from Canada Ammo. And I can't say that I recommend them, the primers itself, because I was having a 26% failure rate with those primers. I will never use them again. And I don't think I'll be able to send them back to Canada Ammo, but those primers are a total failure. Anyway, I'll throw a picture into the kind of primers that they are, large rifle primers. So I did come across with a bit of a reloading win. And point of aim, point of impact were exactly the same place on the target. It was just starting to show some pressure signs in those primers. I'm going to try the same load using probably CCI primers or some Federal Gold Match primers. But 45.5 grains of IMR 4064 seemed to be a real winner with this VZ24. And so I'm looking forward to doing more testing with that. See what else I can get, and see whether or not it's going to work great in the M48 as well. Just a fantastic group of rifles. Heavy, but these are heavy rifles, but I like a heavy rifle. I'm not into lightweight or diminutized rifles with tiny little parts. And I will say that the Portuguese were onto something when they really decided to sign the contract for these rifles. But this rifle's got incredible quality walnut. I mean, there's no. I don't think you can get a better example of a 1904 39 than this rifle. It is just phenomenal. It is exceptionally beautiful. And one of the things I also do like about this is it has the plunger system inside the trigger guard to release the floor plate. Another feature of this rifle, which is just beautiful. Neither of these rifles have that feature. However, I'm going to definitely be sticking with the VZ24, and I don't know why, but I love the M48 because of its crudeness and because of this wood. This elm wood is just incredible. The milling and everything about the remainder of the rifle, it leaves a lot to be desired. But there's something about these that it keeps me coming back for more. But this rifle, man, oh man, oh man. What a design. What a rifle. What a quality. Anyway, that's it, folks. Hope you're all doing well. Riflechair signing off, and as always, Maple Leaf up.